just a quick little conversation about stocks. Like, what do you recommend? Stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, a big diversification of many?
Yeah, man. Again, it depends. It depends on your appetite. Generally, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, so take this advice with a grain of salt. Always do your due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
The whole disclosure thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a firm believer in index funds. I know about stock analysis. I kind of, I get the general overall idea of, investing in stocks. You want to, choose a good business. But I take away, man, look, here's one thing. Have you started investing yet? Like, do you invest money? Yeah, man. So I'm not too sure how long you've been investing, but I've been investing since early 2015, whenever I was first able to really start getting money deployed. And since 2015, there have been several dips in the market, and that stuff is stomach wrenching, right?
Yeah,
And so that's one of those things, man, is that it's one thing to say like, hey, go and invest and do this. It's another thing to experience it, right? You need to experience what it's like to actually invest and get that you need to figure out what your appetite is for risk, right?
yeah,
Because you have no idea what pain is until you watch your investment, and everyone's idea of a lot of money changes, right? So if you have a
for
thousand
sure.
dollars, you think it's a lot, it's going to hurt you to watch that thousand drop to 500. Imagine if you have even more, 10,000, 100,000, 200,000, a million, and that drops down by $500,000. That stuff is literally gut wrenching. You need to practice this stuff, man.
For
And so
sure.
I am not my risk appetite is not there for individual stock investing, because you could literally watch an individual company, they go bankrupt all the time, right? So you
Yeah,
could
they
literally
do.
watch your money go to zero and not get any of it back. I don't have that type of stomach. That's why I invest in index funds. Now, just because I invest in index funds, I usually go for like the general S&P 500, just track the market, I'll be good. But the market itself goes through wild swings all in its own, right? And you know, that's really just like my best piece of advice is find something that you have a good appetite for and get experience as to what it's like to actually invest. Read different psychology books on investing, because I'm trying to tell you, it's one thing to sit there and say, oh, we're going to hold for the long term. It's totally different. And see, here's the thing: like these drops, like they happen in all different types of ways, right? So let's just say you have $100,000. Could you sit there and watch your $100,000 decrease down to $40,000 overnight, or maybe over a span of a week? Like, and we're talking about wild swings that, like, this happens in a few days. It happens so fast you don't even have time to react. There's also the ones that trickle down over an entire year. So now it's been a year and everything is still going down. It's like, bro, is this stuff ever going to go back up? I'm getting out. The world is ending. I'm taking my money out, right? So it's one of those things you really just have to experience it and get that appetite for investing, because it hits everyone different, trust me. And that stuff is really gut wrenching to watch happen if you're not prepared. I've been doing this stuff now, what I mean, we're going on 8, almost 9 years, so like I've got a general idea. I did not experience the Great Recession. I heard that was awful. In fact, I hear horror stories from
Mm-hmm.
people to this day. I mean, I don't know how much research you've done into it, man, but
Mm.
man, people really thought that the U.S. financial system was collapsing. Like, they thought that the world was literally about to end.
In
The
20
U.S. was about to
2008.
go 2008. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
2007, 2008, going into 2009 was the financial crisis. And man, it was nuts, man. I was in high school, so I could like kind of get an idea of what was going on. I didn't really fully know until later. I started doing research, and I started actually working with clients that had lived through it.
Mm.
And they just described like their business, everything that's going on, man. Wild times.
For sure. Yeah, that's really interesting. Man, yeah, like I've had some experience investing. I've been dumb and tried options. I've lost some money doing that. I've done the dumb penny stocks. I've actually
Same here.
won penny stocks too. You know, like I've tried out all kinds of things, but I think I agree with you on the whole risk assessment in regards to like, I'd rather just buy an index fund and just make money and get ROI in other ways.
Yeah.
Not worry about looking at the screen and feeling sick if my trade drops. You know, it's just, yeah,
It's the worst. It's the worst. You lose sleep. You will literally
yeah.
lose sleep over that stuff. I kid you not, man. Like anyone who's watching this, who's about to start, look, some people do become multimillionaires overnight. That is, you have as much chance of doing that as you do of winning the lottery, which basically means it ain't gonna happen, right? You might as well just take a step back. Average returns, a really good, if you can make 7% or 8% on your investments annually, year after year, you are doing amazing, right? I would not try to shoot anything over that. Of course, you always want to do the best you can, but be realistic with yourself, you know. Don't fall for the clickbait, 100 times X your money. That stuff does not happen. I can tell you right now, I've tried it. I know what you're talking about, man. I've tried it. That stuff doesn't work.
For sure. Yeah. I first got into the stock game like 3, 4 years ago, kind of when the internet, like there's so many YouTubers, like the meme stocks, Tesla, GameStop. I didn't really get into those, but like I was seeing how the internet could impact the stock market in such a huge way. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. But I definitely fell for some clickbaity YouTube titles. Buy this stock, buy that stock. And I'm like,
I
it
did
wasn't worth
too.
it.
I did too, man. It's all good. It's part of the learning
Oh, for
experience.
sure.
You don't become a good investor until you make mistakes, right? I have literally lost tons of money in investing. I've made a ton of money investing as well, right? Because with time is your biggest asset, right? Yeah, you'll make mistakes, you can recover from those mistakes. And as long as you come back and you figure out what your fundamental investing principles are and you stick to that over time, you can definitely do some real damage. But yeah, I mean, man, look, I invested in some Bitcoin. I invested
Uh
in,
huh.
some of these other like crazy things. It, it's amazing how us as a human race, how very confident we are in ourselves in like gambling situations,
Oh,
right? I don't
sure.
know why. You could know the odds of winning the lottery are 1 in 10 billion, and you will still think that your lottery ticket is the winning
It's
ticket.
me.
It's just how we are.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but it's like the long game and time is your friend. And yeah, I totally agree with the safe bet.